Hey guys, welcome back to Face with Tarrance. I'm Tarrance, and I'm really excited about this segment today. We're going to actually be talking about defining love. So previously on the show, we've had Alex on the show, and Alex was talking about discovering love. She was laying out her life within a 7-year span of her definition of discovering love. There's a lot of things that happened in her life that a lot of us did not understand, or that we probably couldn't even have lived through on our own, but she came out on the other side, and it was amazing testimony. So now we're going to actually talk about the boundaries of love with Lonetta. And Lonetta went through some things, which is Alex's mom, and she created her boundaries of love. She took what she could of her childhood and adulthood and added the parenting in there, and she laid it out over her kids. And now it was time for her to watch what her kids were going to do with that love. So within those boundaries of love, she was able to observe as a parent and see what was going on. But it was also driving through the hurt and the pain that she had as an individual through her losses and through her success and through her finding love and losing love. So this week we're going to actually talk about defining love. So we're going to take both of those scenarios with both of those people as a family, as a whole, and we're just going to lay it out on the table. And I'm glad that you guys are here with me to experience this. And this segment is not a part of Face to Face where Life Meets Reality, but I'm going to actually bring this to you because we're a family. We all face issues. We all face problems. As a family, they say you pray together, you stay together, but we also grow together. So I want to say welcome today to this segment of Defining Love. We have Alex and Lonetta here with us today. Thank you guys for being here. So this has been some really intense conversations that we've been having as a family. I know, Lonetta, you have not seen Alex's video, and Alex, you have not seen your mom's video either, which is amazing. I really like the fact that you guys were strong enough to sit back and trust me with this. So as of right now, what we want to do is get down to the nitty gritty. I would normally just kind of like ease into this, but I'm ready. All week I've been waiting to talk to both of you guys together, to see the reactions, to see what's going to happen. But Lonetta, we're going to start with you. Previously we said that we're going to actually talk about stuff between you two as a family that they or the other person as an Alex may not know, and Alex is going to tell us some things that you may not know. So as a mother, as a parent, we're going to let you go ahead and set the standard. So if you could tell her a couple things, or one thing, and then we just kind of go back.
One thing, I had low self-esteem as a child because I was bullied.
You were bullied as a child? A lot?
4 girls. We were all the same age, but they were always together. Mm-hmm. So it was like they would catch me after school. The leader, she would never try to do anything. She had the rest of them to kind of come at me, and she'd stand back and watch.
Well, they some haters though, because you've been fine all your life.
Mm-hmm. And so I had to either fight all of them, or I had to tell. So I told.
So you would tell on them. So how did that turn out?
Well, it took a while for me to tell on them because I was like trying to figure out how to catch them one at a time, Okay. But they were always together, so it was kind of hard.
Yeah.
So finally, I got to somebody saw us and saw them trying to jump on me, and they told my mother, so I had no choice.
Okay.
I had to tell.
So how long was this going on?
Oh, probably like from the beginning of the school year to maybe Christmas. Okay. So from September to Christmas.
And how old do you think you were then?
What age? I was about 11. Okay. I think it was like in 6th grade, 5th or 6th grade.
So they would corner you, was it pretty much every day?
Corner me across the street from the school where they couldn't get in trouble.
And then they would jump on you or try to bully you?
Try to.
Okay. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Out of the siblings, I'm the overprotective one. People don't bully me. I fight the bullies instead. So no.
No.
I watched my brothers go through it, but you're not finna play with my peoples. You ain't definitely not gonna play with me. So no.
So I would ask you this question: because you got bullied as a parent, did you take something and put it inside of, let's say, Alex or your girls to like not take mess from somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a culture, one thing that with me growing up with my brothers, my mom would always say, if one of us get in trouble or get in a fight, we all better get in a fight. Because if anybody comes home that did not get in a fight, that's gonna get their behind whooped because they did not help. So did you kind of put that in your kids also because you were bullied that they need to stand up for themselves and watch out for each other?
I don't know. The main thing I always remember her saying, one, she said you are what you answer to. Meaning if you dumb enough to let them call you that and you respond to it, that's what you are. And then it was always this rule. This is how you couldn't get in trouble for a fight, right? So let's say somebody on there with you and this and that. Could not swing, hit them or nothing until they tried to swing at you first. She said, if they try to swing at you first, you got all rights. Don't let them hit you, but let them try. Boom.
So I would say that probably came from those scenarios when you're, yeah. So as long as they swing or they initiate it,
right,
you can do whatever.
That's right. Because I have a right to defend myself.
Yeah, like she never told
once
me
once you do something to me, I have a right to do something to you because you've already jumped in your lane and crossed over into mine too.
Okay, understood. So
remember that with Jackson. If he say, well, he hit me first. Yeah.
He's already saying that, which is it's not funny, but as a parent, you know, you kind of really have to watch what you say.
Yeah.
And he told me, like, Daddy, he hit me first. And I'm like, Jackson, you cannot, like, just walk away. But he hit me. Because now times have changed. There's no fighting. Like, I need for him to live.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, let's take this back. In your conversation, that when we were talking, you actually told me a story about your granddaughter. Mm-hmm. And when your granddaughter got jumped on or, you know, threatened or whatever in class, she wanted to do what?
Kill everybody.
Kill everybody. So with that, it was more or less one of those things, like there's a line that you don't cross, but then sometimes it's hard not to cross that line. So that's where my mindset now, I'm like, if I can train Jackson into thinking differently, maybe I can get a different outcome. Because my mom taught me the same thing you taught Alex. If they touch you, you go at them. You know, if somebody jump on your brother, you know, you go at them. Like there's no, I don't care what happens, we'll talk about it later and you won't get in trouble.
It's just the boundary of knowing when to actually fight. Like me, every fight I had in elementary school was not because it was my beef or it was me who had the problem with the person. It was usually me defending one of my siblings or friends.
Okay.
But the thing is, you gotta think of it from that perspective. You gotta be like, do I tell them to just, you know, keep getting beat up or do you defend yourself? Because even if he is to walk away, you ain't getting that far. They still gonna taunt you on some more as you trying to, you know, and then them other people in your head be like, who was you playing with? And then after that, all you can do is try. But after you done tried about 3 times, third time's charm, I'm sorry.
So you're fighting against boys, Alex? In some cases, or just all girls?
If you touch my siblings, I don't care what type of religion, relation, gender, I don't care.
She has fought boys before. Actually, she beat up both brothers.
2 sets of brothers. The older brothers was bullying my brother right under me. And then the other 2 was bullying the youngest. And I said, okay.
So what happens when they go get somebody bigger?
What you mean, what happens? I got cousins, more brothers and sisters. What you...
Okay.
Listen, we run in packs. We don't usually run in packs, but we run in packs without running in packs. One call.
Yeah.
That's all?
One call.
The strangest thing is she became best friends with her cousin and didn't know it was her cousin.
Yep. Let me shot, please.
Yeah.
So, the low self-esteem from Lonetta and Alex. Do you have something that you want to lay on the table?
What's the easiest one?
What's the easiest one?
So you don't know this, but do you remember the boys I used to always kick with when I was younger?
Which ones?
Stayed around the corner.
Can't say names.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Regardless, my brothers. So, let's just say your daughter shot a gun and a person for the first time at 7. Didn't kill him, but was a life or death situation. Not for me, but for someone else. On some let me save you before you die type stuff. So, yeah. You know how I am. Once it gets down to it, I gotta do what I can. So, yeah.
So how does that make you feel, Lonetta?
She look like she's not
Do
surprised.
you see my head rocking? I'm not surprised that child did that.
How come?
That's Alex.
What does that mean?
Alex has been known to just do things. You know, Alex is, I guess, is when the spirit moves, so that's what she do.
I don't know what kind of spirits be moving you, Alex.
I don't know. You know what the day's been like.
Yeah. So in the car we're talking about your expectations of your kid growing up and what you want them to be when you see them in a young infant stage. You have these hopes and dreams of them maybe becoming a president or a senator. Then as they become teenagers, you realize that president, check, maybe off the map, senator, maybe gone, and you just got, high hopes. And then as they become adult, you just kind of like settle, like, okay, this is who they are.
Yeah.
What were your hopes for Alex? What did you see Alex as? Or what were your dreams for Alex?
Alex, I wanted Alex to become a lawyer. She kind of went in the other day. She kind of went in the same direction, but another direction at the same time. So right now, I just want Alex to be who Alex is. If you decide you want to go back and later become a lawyer, then fine. No big major, Because at some point you gotta let your kid be who they are, because they have to be happy too.
So, Alex could have easily become a killer. That day.
Yeah. Then she a killer, but she's still my child at the end of the day. No matter what she becomes, she's still my child.
And then Alex could have easily have been that person. That the person that she shot could have easily been the guy running on the playground with the kids and laying down. In all of these scenarios, she's still Alex.
Yeah.
Because you're her mom. You're gonna love her regardless through it.
I'm love her regardless. The thing of it is, it doesn't, whatever her actions are, don't change who she is to me. And actually doesn't change what I think. Because I know Alex. And there are things that I know she's done that I'm gonna be like, okay, deep breath. But, at the end of the day, she Alex. I've known who Alex is for a long time. And yeah, I'll be surprised at some things. And she'll probably be surprised at some things that she loves about me too.
So with Alex being here, who is Alex? Your definition of Alex.
My definition, I think I gave you my definition of Alex last
did.
week.
Because Alex said a quote earlier today. She said that no matter how close you are with the person, you only know what they tell you. So I want to see what your version of Alex is with Alex being here. To see if she kind of.
Alex is my child that is predictable but unpredictable at the same time. I know things that she's capable of, but then I know there are some things that I would never imagine that she'd be capable of. But Alex is also the child that talks to me the most, so that's probably why I know her the way that I do. Because she never said 2 words to me like one of my other children. I probably wouldn't know anything about her. But that one don't say nothing to nobody else, so it's kind of like he talks to Alex. I think he talks to Alex more than he talks to anybody.
Everybody talks to me. I'm the therapist.
So how does that make you feel? That you have children that may or may not talk to you?
I'm not happy about it, but what can I do? I can't force you to talk. I'm not going to put a gun to your head and make you tell me what I want to know. No. When you get ready, you'll tell me. And if you never get ready, then I'll find out.
No,
Eventually, I'll find out, because one of your siblings going to be like, yeah, I guess it's time for us to tell mom about this. So yeah.
She just always like, and it's not just for me. This is me speaking from conversations I've had with my siblings. But she's given all of us that like tough skin, to where it's like, you know, if you're really going through it, you gotta be strong through it. So naturally, we don't just go to her asking or stuff like that, because she got her own stress that we see ourselves. So we like, I ain't gonna mess with you with all this I got going on. Like, they come to me instead. There you go. Like.
So you're like the middle barrier between your mom, her stress, her hurt, her pain. So as a kid, growing up, you're able to see her hurting and dealing with life.
I was always the one who knew when something was up with everyone. Like, for me to stay to myself as much as I do, what I am around everybody, I'm observant. I'm overly observant. So after I've seen a lot of people, we can sit there, we can chill with everybody else, but as soon as everybody else not right here, we gotta talk, no matter who it is.
But as a kid, you took on parent responsibilities. That's what we as parents are supposed to do, right?
I want to keep her here as long as humanly possible. If that means taking some of her stress, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So how does that make you feel to hear that? You know, to know that your 14-year-old daughter is taking on a lot of secrets and responsibilities and stuff she's not even telling you. Because what she's saying is she's protecting you by not telling you. And as a parent, we talked, you know, last week or whenever that we want to know.
I kind of did that with my nephew lived with us until he was 14. So that was like my little brother in the house. And he was doing all kinds of stuff. So I didn't tell my mother a whole lot of stuff that he did because I knew it would be stressful. So I think that's where Alex gets that from. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't tell her that he did. I used to actually keep him out of trouble at school. We went to the same school. And so the teacher would always come to me. Can you let your mom know? I was like, oh, okay, I'll let her know. And then on the way home, I said, if you do it again, I'm going to beat you up.
So you're still establishing and setting your boundaries of love with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot because as a kid, and me even being a kid, I would see my mom hurting a lot. And I would always try to ease her pain. Being a mama's boy, you know, I just try to take on whatever I can do for her. But at the same time, that can definitely weigh you down. And like you said, you have 6 other siblings that come to you also that you're trying to deal with. Because in my mind, I think you said that you're around 7 when you shot the gun to save the guy's life. That's something huge for a 7-year-old. But also, you may have thought that you may have gotten in trouble with your mom for even having a gun or shooting a gun.
No? One thing I know about it, if she knew why, like the situation it was, she wasn't on trip. Because I was trying to save someone's life, not just take someone's life. Not only that, but I wasn't trying to kill the dude I shot. I was just trying to keep him from shooting him. It was kind of one of those, I got to get you to do something. I'm just going to pray you don't die.
But that's a thin line.
Yeah.
You know, like you can literally shoot at somebody and because of that one action can definitely send your whole life down a whole nother. But you're okay with that as long as she's saving somebody's life? It's okay to shoot somebody?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay. So give me what.
So, I mean, if she had came and told me that, I would have been upset with her and I would have let her know that I was upset with her. That's a dangerous situation. What if that person had a gun too and, and retaliated and shot you? You know, so I understand she was trying to save someone's life, but at the same time, you have to understand your life could have still been in danger also.
Yeah. So she said something earlier that was very important. She said these friends, brothers, was the reason this whole scenario happened. As a parent, you allowed her to hang in these scenarios and situations? Because I know my mom used to always, Tarrance, get your butt in the house. When the street light come on, or you can't hang with this person, I would get so mad. And I know a lot of the viewers' parents maybe have done the same thing, or maybe the same way as my mom. But you can see the direction that your kid is going in by the people that they surround themselves with. Could you not see that in that scenario?
They didn't come around like that. They were afraid of me. You have to understand, I worked in the school with these kids.
Okay.
And so they knew who I was at work. And the person that's at work is that person that stern, she gonna get mad, she gonna get me, she gonna tell my mama. So that's who they knew as, you know, Miss Smith, that's who they knew. But they didn't know that, you know, me as Alex's mama. They didn't, you know, realize the two were one. They didn't get that.
I don't know, for me, not only that, but I've never been a type to follow. Ever. So it's like, she know regardless of who I'm around, I'm going to do what I want.
Okay. Have a strong mind, so you're just going to continue doing whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now it's back on you, Lonetta. So is there, I remember one time you told me about a scenario where there was verbal and physical. And do you want to talk about that scenario with her? Abuse?
Well, she knows some of it, but she doesn't know all of it. So she knows the part about Lisa's dad and how, well, I don't know, I don't think you were born then, but how he tried to get a ring off my finger.
Oh, physically take it off? Like
he was trying to get it off, and my daughters, which one includes his daughter, and my 4 cousins beat him up. Because they're like, you ain't finna jump on my cousin, hold on, you ain't finna jump on my mom, you done lost your back. And so it's me and 6 kids and him fighting. I'm not gonna tell you that my dad done shot at him, and so he can get hit, but he knew not to try that no more.
Yeah.
And my relationship with their father was kind of abusive. It was more verbal than physical. We had a physical altercation before, where he almost pushed me down some stairs. But yeah, it was mostly verbal. You okay over there, Pooh? Okay.
How does that make you feel to hear your mom tell these stories?
So for me, just from the stuff that I saw as a child, because I was the one, I hear everything. I don't always see everything, but I hear everything. So for me, it was always keeping my brothers away from it. You know, on some, I don't want y'all to deal with it type stuff. But, and I always say this when we're talking about like old stuff or whatever with my siblings, I used to tell them like, that there's no way he was like this with us and not like that with mom.
Right.
So it was like, for me, I always thought it was something behind the doors, you know? So to hear her say that, I'm just like, wow. Especially with me now, like, getting that bond back with him and stuff and trying with him, it's like, makes you take a few steps back a little bit, but I know people change the past. You know, it's there for a reason. Not only that, but it's part of the reason I am the way I am. So, me being as strong as I am, me being how I am, comes from a lot of that.
So with you guys, the physical part was there and the verbal part was there also?
They never
Like you
really
said,
not
you knew
towards his kids.
Okay.
With my older sisters, yeah, like you know, you kind of see the little, you know, remarks and stuff. So it's like, I'm not dumb. I see, I hear, and I understand.
Yeah.
But with us, it was always something else. Like, you can ask her, like, I wasn't the type, you know, they usually choose one parent. I didn't choose a favorite. Like, I was just to myself. And because I was never really close to him and stuff like that, it was like, that made me push back more. Because I'm just like, nah, I ain't messing with it. Like, you hurt them, you hurt me. So, yeah.
So even as a parent, allowing your kids to grow up in a household like that, or the surrounding like that, you could see that in them. The hurt, the pain. how long did it take you to leave or be out of the scenario situation? And what made you actually take that step? Because a lot of parents would just stay there and allow their kids to endure it, and they endure it.
Well, it wasn't like from the very beginning.
Yeah.
It was like gradually things happened. Him and Marquita did not get along at all. And so gradually stuff started
And Marquita
happening.
wasn't his kid. Okay.
She's
your
the oldest.
Yeah.
And so, with her dad coming around, because we co-parent her. So with him coming around, he didn't like it. He was jealous about it. Why you gotta come? It's his daughter. So, I guess it never clicked that, oh, that is his daughter. She just stayed with us. Yeah. So, with Lisa, it was a little different. Lisa tolerated him. Marquita didn't have any tolerance for him at all. So Lisa tolerated him in such a way that she manipulated him to do things that he probably wouldn't have done, because that's who Lisa is. But I think it was like I stayed in that scenario maybe 4 years. I mean, it gradually started happening. When it finally really started happening more often, it may have been 4 years. And we weren't on good terms anyway. I was in one spot sleeping, and he was in another spot sleeping. So at that point, you pretty much know that relationship is crumbling.
So the verbal and physical abuse for you, and Alex, we're gonna turn back to your side. Is there something else you want to tell your mom that she may not know?
So, other than the time that I've been raped 2 more times. I don't know. I told you how I felt about it the first time. That she ain't like that. I didn't want to deal with it. So when it happened, again and again after that, I just didn't say anything. Like, at that time, I knew I could go to the doctor without you. So I knew I could, I would be safe or whatever as far as making sure I'm okay. By the time I had figured out how to dupe the doctors into, not doing the rape kit and stuff. And it was more so like, I just couldn't see that look on your face again. Like, I couldn't. So, I held it. Also because, like, you can't take my pain away. As much as you want to, you can't. So, I don't know. I just was like, I have to deal with it. Like, it wasn't just me not wanting you to know. I didn't see what telling you would do. Like, honestly, I didn't see what telling anyone would do. Like, even when I told him, it was just impulse. Like, I just couldn't hold it at that moment. I tell somebody, I knew would be around and wouldn't say nothing. But it doesn't really affect me now. I grew from it. I learned from it, and I take heed to it now. Just like the incident I told you about a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay, I'm not going out like that again, but still.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So how does that make you feel? 2 more times. So a total of 3 times she was raped, and 2 times she didn't even tell you. And just to give you a little bit of a background, she displayed on the video what you read about it. But one time, it was on the way to a train from a party, and 4 guys. You want to tell her?
Basically, you know me, I like to make sure everybody get home.
Mm-hmm.
So, walk back from the party with one of my friends or whatever. Make sure she get to her block. I keep walking to trying to get to the red line. Get to one of those alleys. I didn't leave the alley for a long, long time. Like, I was attacked or whatever. There were 2 people that walked past. I'm talking, I did nothing. They tried to help me, didn't try to call me out. Nothing. If they did, the police didn't come. But there was 2 holding me down, and 2, that was around that time where, like, I just shut everybody out. Like, mentally, I wasn't there. That was also around the time where you caught me cutting. Like, all of that was happening during that whole time, amongst all the other things I had going on. So, it wasn't hard for me to hide from you, but it was hard to deal with. Like, cried what I needed to, and then I kept going on with my life.
And even after that happened, she got on the train, came home, you're in the living room, walked right past you into the bathroom, and just dealt with it herself.
And it's crazy because when I came out the bathroom, she was like, why you ain't come? Because usually when I come in the house, like, I'm going to come say something to her, come bother her or something. I didn't do that. She was like, why you coming and stuff? I was like, oh, I'm tired, this and that. But I don't know. Sometimes I know she be doing something because her face tells me. But she'll never overstep that boundary. Like, she's always given us a sense of our own privacy. Like I trust you, but I want you to trust me too. She was like, I know there's a lot of times where she wanted to just, be like, what's wrong, what's up. But she knows, especially with me, I'm not gonna talk unless I want to.
But you're still a baby. And I'm saying a baby because your first rape was at what age, would you say?
I was fresh out of elementary school.
And your second, would you say, what was the period of time that those 3 happened?
It was coming out of 7th grade, coming out of 8th grade the first time.
Coming out of 7th, 8th grade was the first time? And then from there, it was high school. The other 2 happened while you were in high school. So that's, let's say, within a 3-4 year period.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. So some of the viewers may be wondering, as a parent, all of the signs are there. She shut you out. She shut the world out. She withdrew into herself. And cutting. And she said you knew of her cutting one time. As a parent, how did that happen? Like, how did you come across her cutting?
I don't remember what it was. I don't remember if it was a phone call or, I don't remember what it was, but I found out she was cutting. And she wasn't happy when I found out either. So she didn't have a choice. She had to tell me because I know you cut, and I know that you were supposed to be this place and that place. And she was like, yeah, well, Ma, I needed the time to think. I was like, you could have thought that in your class while you sitting there. Why then I wouldn't know what was going on. I say, so why you can't tell me what's going on? I don't want to talk about it right now. When I get ready, I'll come and I'll talk to you. And because I don't push, because I want her to be comfortable enough to come and talk to me. I want her to be comfortable enough to come and say, hey, Mom, look, this is what's up. Because I pushed Marquita and she like kind of withdrew. I was like, I'm not ever gonna tell you anything, And it took a long time for her to get back to that point where she would talk to me and tell me stuff. So I don't push.
So that's where you're talking about making mistakes and learning through your mistakes as you make them. But also, so I'm sorry, let me go back to this question. The viewers may want to know, how do you feel about her telling you that she was raped 3 times? What is that?
I wish she would have told me before now. Not that I could have did anything about it, you know, but I would have known.
And do you understand what she's saying is that she didn't want you to carry that weight by yourself?
I mean, yeah, but I was already trying to keep weight off her shoulders. So I added, you know? Like, I was taking everybody else's pain anyway. So, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of just like, she can't change it. The first thing she's going to want to do is, how can I fix it? You can't. I don't want her to be stuck thinking about, I can't help my child. Like, I don't know. I just didn't want none of that.
But maybe she could. And this is what
I'm going to tell you this firsthand. No one, and I mean no one, can help you out of that mindset when that stuff first happens. Even years after it happens, until you heal from that, until you're able to breathe and not shake and look over your shoulder, no one else can do anything, because regardless, that's mentally in you right now. Like, even still to this day, even though I done healed from it and I let it go, if, like, okay, let's say my boyfriend, if he touches me a certain way, like if he come up behind me out of nowhere, you know, grab my arm or bump me or anything, like, I'm going to jump. Not because I'm scared of him or anything, but naturally now my body is like triggered to that.
It's the same thing that happens to you when you've been in an abusive relationship, physical abusive relationship. You jump a lot because you don't know what's gonna come next. You know that person gonna swing at you, knock you out of the chair, drag you, whatever. You don't know.
So 2 questions I have. One for you. What did cutting do for you? Like, why did you cut? If you're hurting on the inside, why hurt yourself more?
Physical pain hurts less than mental and emotional pain.
What do you mean?
Because physical pain eventually goes away. Emotional and mental pain, you have to plant and water and cuddle and all this other stuff just to heal from one little part. So it's like, cutting gives you that moment of, it's the pause. Nobody used to tell us to just pause and ask ourselves, you know, 3 questions and get you. It was that, but the pause was that cut. And you sitting there, you watching it, you breathing through it, and you just like, okay, this hurts less. It's only for a second, and eventually you realize it's only gonna be for a second. But in that moment, you're just like, okay, all right. But I'm not gonna lie and say something like that isn't addictive. I was just smart enough to know how deep to cut and how to cut, to the point where it could heal and I wasn't gonna be in trouble for long.
So cutting is addictive?
It can be, yeah, because you get used to that feeling of, I can let go. It's almost like a person on actual drugs, just not as bad. Because for some people, that's their only outlet. That's them crying in the bathroom.
So by cutting yourself and watching your blood come out slowly, or however it comes out, it's a release.
Yeah, because you feel like, and this isn't always, but sometimes it's that feeling of, you know, when you want to die, you're just like, but you know you don't want to leave Earth for real. It's that, like, I can let go a little bit for these 2-3 seconds, and then with some people, they cut deep enough to pass out and wake up later and be like, I'm still dealing with it.
And you know people like that?
Go try again. Yeah.
Wow. I know as a parent that's heavy. And you made a quote earlier. The second part of this was you said a quote earlier that from yourself. You said, have a relationship with your kids but you still have to be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm sitting here and I'm listening to her carry this heavy burden,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, to me, it was almost like you were a friend instead of a parent, because you said you didn't want to push them. But I know there's some parents out there, no, you're going to talk to me. You know, I'm going to make you talk to me. I'm going to make you tell me this. I'm going to take you to therapy. Oh, no, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking at me like this? You ain't been talking in days. You walk differently. You talk differently. You're acting differently. But yet, you gave them space because of your first daughter shut down on you.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do you step up and be the parent, or you be the friend, or you be whatever to your kid?
Well, in that, you have to know your kids to know when you have to be the parent. With Alex, I knew that eventually she would talk to me. I don't have to push Alex. Alex will talk to me. Eventually, she'll tell me everything that I want to know. I have to give her that time, because if I push her, she's not gonna tell me anything, and she's gonna pretty much tell me to go fly somewhere. I mean, not actually tell me that, but that's gonna be the expression on her face. Alex looks at you certain ways, and you go like, "Okay, this is not the time for that." You know, we had a principal that learned that lesson really quick with Alex.
But some people will say that, some people could say that you failed as a parent because you stepped back and you allowed Alex as a young kid to define her love as she was discovering it. You know, like she set the boundaries where you should have been like, as a parent, like me, I'm just like, I'm one of them old fashioned parents. I'm like, Jackson, you better tell me everything. Mm-hmm. Like I'm looking at him. He turns around and I'm like, Dad, what? And I'm like, nothing. I'm just watching. He's like, okay, you good? I'm like, I'm good. He's like, you got me? I'm like, I got you. Which I don't even know he gets this stuff from, right? Probably his mom or somebody, or maybe me. But the same thing for you was kind of like, your daughter was raped 3 times and she cut herself, suicidal thoughts, but you're the parent and you have 7 kids that you have to do this with, and you have your own struggles. So what I'm hearing is her saying she went through a lot of stuff in life, but she did not want to put any burdens on you. And I'm hearing you say that you went through a lot of stuff in life and you want to be the superhero and you can't put burdens on her, which is the same exact thing to me.
Mm-hmm. But the thing of it is that, like I told you last time, there is no manual on being a parent. You live through it, you make your mistakes, you try to not make them mistakes again. And in some cases, you do make them again, because of the fact that you don't realize that you made that mistake over until it's already done. A lot of times, you just have to let things go, because you have to also understand that it takes stress onto your body. You're gonna kill yourself because, you know, of what happened. I can't fix it. I can't make it not have happened. You know what I mean?
But you can walk with her, beside her, through it.
I mean, and I do. I've had numerous times of being touched.
Your own self.
By family membership, but not like rape.
Did you know
but
that?
I mean, like, in my sleep, a hand goes between, and I'm like, and wake up out of my sleep and like, what? Screaming.
I found that out when I told her about the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she eventually, told me, like, I know what you feel, so I'm not gonna push it. And I wanted to know how she knew, so she told me straight up, like, it happened to me. And I mean, for me, I don't know, it didn't change much. It didn't make me look at her differently or anything else. It kind of made me know I was gonna be straight, because she good. She went through it, but she good. And then, I don't know, she isn't the parent that, oh, you just walk over it. Or she isn't the parent that's overly strict. She allows us to form my own life with her guidance. Like, I'm gonna give you, you know, the seeds you need. How you plant them and water them is on you. Like, she quick to tell you when you wrong. She don't care about, you know, your feelings after she tell you that, but she's doing it because she knows, like, this not you. This not what you do.
Mm-hmm.
My mother used to always say, when I used to ask them, well, Mom, why don't you, you know, with me and my nephew being in the house together and being raised like brother and sister, I used to say, well, Mom, why don't you get him when he, you know, did this, he did that, he did that. She said, I'm giving him enough rope to hang himself. And when right before he starts breathing, I'm gonna cut him down. So, you know, that she meant that I'm gonna let him do what he do, and right before, you know, he go to jail, get killed or something like that, I'm gonna cut him down. So I'm gonna make sure he okay, and then I'm gonna, you know, do what I have to do as a parent. And even though she wasn't his parent per se,
Mm-hmm.
you in my household, so I'm gonna treat you like one of my kids.
So with you, when those things was happening to you, did you say something?
Mm-hmm.
When the family member was messing with you, did you say something to somebody superior?
Yeah. His mom, I told her, and he got in trouble for it, you know, or whatever. But later on, we found out that he had also touched his sister. So it wasn't just me. His sister just did not say anything until years later.
Mm. So by you, do you think it prevented it from happening to other people after you told, or did they just sweep it up under the rug, per se?
I don't know how much it prevented it, because I don't know if he touched anybody else other than me and my cousin. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So I don't know if that stopped him because I said something or whatever, but I know that he didn't ever try to do anything else to her after I told.
So you spoke of shame last week,
Mm-hmm.
and how some of your kids may or may not know that part of you,
Mm-hmm.
which after watching this video, they will, and it'll be a piece that you guys will talk about as a family and grow together as a family. Can you speak more on the shame? Like, you were young at the time, but even throughout the years.
Mm-hmm. The first time that I was ever touched by anybody, which was a family member, was I was like 8, and I was at their house spending the night with my cousins. I was there and came in the middle of the night and went under the sheet and grabbed me in between my legs. And I was like, what is going on? I woke up screaming, which, of course, he ran. As soon as I started screaming, he ran. And then years later, he attempted it again when I was older. I had to be in my 20s. And I was at home, and he came through the back door, which my aunt stayed right across from me. And I guess he came from her house and came, because we kept our back doors because we was always back and forth. So he came in and grabbed me from behind and ended up with me stabbing him in the hand. But, it's just strange how people in your family that you don't think will ever do something like that,
You said earlier also that you can live with them, a person or a family member, and still not know them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it will surprise you as a parent or a family member. And to what you just said, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's the people that surround you that hurt you the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that with you, Alex, some of the things that you said last week, you said about the rape. Who's going to believe me? You didn't tell because you're like, who's going to believe me? You didn't tell the police, or you didn't tell your mom because you didn't think nobody was going to believe you. Or who's going to help me?
Yeah, it wasn't about anybody believing me. It was just, how can you pull me out of a box that you can't pull me out of? Like, it already happened. That was my mindset. And with the track record the police got, what was they going to do for real, for real? Especially in that situation, other than make me really relive it multiple times. So
do you think that what would the difference have been had she told you earlier?
I would have known. I would have been able to do a lot more for her. You know, as far as mentally and physically helping her through it.
Like what? Because apparently she don't see it, but she never told you. Like, what would you have done?
So, if she had told me, it would have been a thing of just kind of letting her know it's gonna be okay. We can get through this together. I'm gonna stick with you every step of the way. Do you know, can you identify these people? Do you know, can you tell me where it happened at? Just kind of, trying to support her, I guess, in a way.
To the little girl that's inside of you that went through those things, would that have helped?
I mean, if we're honest. Okay, so because I am the distant child, but I'm the one that talks to her, she automatically just comes to me. She wants to chill, she wants to talk, she wants to watch movies and stuff like that. So it's like, she did that without knowing. Like, those moments where we sat and watched movies and we cried at the movies, but we was, going through our own stuff, like, those times helped me. You know how you grasp to a little piece of life? That's what I had.
So even though you're watching the movies, you're crying for a different reason than the movie, but she just being there with you, not knowing.
Yeah, and that's always been her, because sometimes she will know. And especially after my stepdad passed, like, I pretty much slept in his spot, like, so I was with her all the time, but my mom, like, and I still do it to this day because she used to do it to me, but I rock myself to sleep now, as a grown-up, because she used to do it to me all the time, especially when I got to the hospital and stuff. That's how I could go to sleep. So it's like, now it's natural.
Is that why you can't be still in the chair?
No, that's just, I got severe anxiety, I'm sorry.
Okay. You even said last week that everything happens for a reason. If something happens, it is for something else.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that in this scenario? So, for instance, your mom went through something with the family member, and then you went through something.
That prepared her to deal with my trauma. My trauma is going to help me prepare to deal with my child and help prevent that. Like, if it came down to it and you could take away your child's pain, I know my mom would. Even if she had to wear it herself, I know she would. So it's like, for me, and just my life experiences in general, like, especially from a mental point, every single thing that I've gone through, especially the negatives, have shaped my mindset. They made me big boss that I think I am now. Like, they made me to this person, like, I'm not going to take nothing from nobody. I'm not going to change who I am for nobody. And I'm not going to back down from nobody. If I didn't go through a lot of that stuff, I would probably be, a weakling. Falling for everything,
Yeah.
But I know that if I allow myself to become a victim to everything that I've gone through, I'm still losing. You're not finna take me down and treat me like a loser. It's not gonna happen. I'm not no wimp. I'm not gonna stay on the floor. So it's either you get up and you walk, crawl, something, or you sit there and drown. I don't want to drown, so kind of gotta take life and the lessons that it gives you. Everything happens to show you something, to help you learn something. You just have to look at it that way.
So I'm not insensitive. I just want to play devil's advocate just for the viewers. But what if some people say that that's a victim's mentality that you have? Like, you're going through these things and you're saying that it's making you stronger, or your mom went through it, you know, she experienced it, it happened, but now, you know, she understands and she's allowing you to be stronger. But then you also mentioned that you'll be there for your kids if they go through it. And in my mind, I'm thinking
more so preventative ways, but
what she went through didn't prevent you because you didn't even talk to her.
But that's life, though. We all have to remember everyone's an individual person. Not only are you an individual person, but no parent can stop all of the negatives in your life. If they could, then life would be perfect.
I concur.
This is what the student is teaching.
I'm being for real, because it's like a lot of people are like that, where they're like, well, this happened to me, and if that would never happen, this and that. It's like, it happened. So what you gonna do now? You gonna keep living in the past, keep walking back to 4 weeks ago, or are you gonna keep living? And I mean, that may come off as harsh or whatever, but I'm a very blunt person. If you're gonna sit there and keep letting life chew off at you and drown in the water and leave in the pit, then that's what you want. You gave up on yourself. No one can help you unless you want to help yourself.
But it's hard not to, because even you said a few weeks ago they killed you without killing you.
Yeah.
When that happened, like, that's something that really shifted, altered, changed your life. And we can say that, hey, you know, every negative thing we went through is for somebody else, or it's happening for a reason, and I learned from it, you know, and it made me a better person. But also it made you a hurt person. It made you a weak person. And no matter how much we try to forget, I still know the day that my mom died. I still know the day that my brother died. You know what's crazy? Is my brother was born, and I used to only celebrate his birthdays. Now I celebrate his birthday and his death day. I'm like, so the past hurts, and there's no way you can't avoid looking back, because they say you learn from it, and like you said, you learn from her mistakes. But if the line of communication isn't there, if we're not constantly dividing our love, if we're not constantly bringing a family close and opening up from generation to generation, they say learning, if you don't learn your history, is going to repeat itself, and that's what's happening. You said in the beginning, Alex is just like you.
Yes, she is in a lot of ways.
And I didn't understand that until after I recorded Alex. And then I turned around and I recorded you, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, there's a lot of similarities. I'm like, I wonder what would have happened if Lonetta would have opened up at an early age to them. And were you closed off at times? Because there's certain things that some of your kids don't know. So
yeah.
And then you're closed off a lot of the times, not some of the times.
I'm just like that.
And you gotta think about it when it first happened to Alex, when she was first raped. It was during a period of time that I was going through the whole thing with her dad. We weren't sleeping in the same room. We weren't barely talking to each other. So I'm dealing with that, thinking that I have a failed marriage, and then later on finding out that we weren't even married, because he had never been divorced. So, you know, I'm dealing with that, and then she's told me this, so now I have to figure out how I can mend her so that she is not, you know, in pieces. I gotta try to fix it so that she's a whole again. But then I got this stupidity going on, you know, on the other side too.
No, that's just one thing she kind of taught us, like, and it's more so from a Bible standpoint, but she told me, right after I let her know that she, like, I think she said something under the lines of, God isn't going to give it to you unless he can pull you out of it. So,
He'll never give you more than you can bear.
Yeah, so it's like, regardless of whether or not she was fully there, even if she gave me that one piece of advice and then just left me on my own, that advice is enough for me to know I have to get up. Not only that, but just like you said, we're breaking generational curses. I now know that when it comes down to it and I'm talking to my daughter, maybe I should tell her my traumas as well as the good stuff, instead of just telling her good stuff from my childhood like my mom did, because it could prevent more than I think.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the only way I figured that out is me going through what I went through. So everything literally happened for a reason, like everything. It just depends on how you go through it and how you use it to change not only your life but someone else's. Like if you going through it and you're not learning, then of course stuff gonna go left. But I don't know, she's always put me in a mindset where she knows if she gives me 1-2 things to really, really think about, especially with the way that I think, that I will be okay regardless of if she's 10,000 miles away. Like, I'll be okay. So
Alex analyzes a lot of stuff. So you give her something, she gonna pick at it and pick at it and pick at it until she can't pick at it no more. And another thing that I've already told them is that your destiny is already defined for you. So when you go the opposite way, things happen. So you have to always try to figure out, okay, so what's my destiny? What's my purpose? Why am I here? Why are these things happening to me? And when you define your destiny and you find out what your purpose really is in life, and you try to stay on that path, things don't happen like that to you. It's a little smoother when you know your purpose and your destiny. And I can't make her destiny happen because it's hers. I can't stop things in her destiny from happening because of something that she does to detour it. I can't do anything about it because it's hers. That's just like somebody taking everything out your house and then saying it's all theirs. No, that's mine. It's my name on it. What do you mean? So I can't stop things from happening to her, but I can be there and be in her corner and help her understand that this had to happen, because there is something in that little circle that you got out that circle.
Yeah. I know that and we have one more question for each one of y'all here shortly. I guess one more thing for you to reveal is each other. But I know that there's been times in my life when you talk about detouring and going on a path that I was with some friends trying to take a shortcut to make it home, and I knew it was a faster way. And I was like, I'm going to go this way instead of going, the expressway, because the expressway can be, during that period of time, really packed. So I got off on the street, and they kind of looking at me, but never said nothing to me. Mm-hmm. And then I hit the side street, and the whole streets was shut down because there's a party type thing going. So at this moment, I'm frustrated. I don't want to turn around. I don't want to go back. I don't want to say I'm wrong. I'm like, I got this thing planned out. I already know what I'm going to do. Yep, so I'm like, I'm going to, just take another side street. Or you can sit there and just go with the flow, even though the traffic's barely moving. And at some point in my mind, I'm like, dang, had I stayed on the path that the GPS is telling me to go, I would have made it there in time. And a lot of us do that in life, I guess is what I'm getting at. We detour. Mm-hmm. We do what we want to do thinking we know what's best. But then once we get there, it's either we're at a standstill. Do we turn around and go back the same way that we just came? Or do we find another way that may be faster or shorter? Or do we just deal with whatever we're in? And I think those are the crossroads that you're at whenever you're going through these scenarios.
But I mean, that's also why it's good that, and even though a lot of people will think, oh, she didn't do her job as a parent and she allowed these things to happen and blah, blah, blah. But for me, I would not be as independent and as bossed as I am if I didn't go through a lot of things by myself. Not only that, but she makes me independent. I'm not finna hold your hand through everything, but I'm here to hand you a pinky when you need it. Mm-hmm. Like, I would rather her be the way she did and let me go through it, even though she doesn't want me to go through things like that, but let me go through it and learn and grow, than to cradle me and then send me into a world where no one will help me. Like, it just wouldn't work.
It's like in elementary school, we cradle them, we nurture them, we love them, we do it. And then in high school, they like, oh, no, ain't none of that. No, come on. You got to do this and this, and I want my work. And if I don't get my work, that's your grade. We don't do that. They don't do their work. Okay, well, here, you just pass it in next week. You know,
But
that's a lot like it is with the way that my kids are. I don't force them because I want them to be independent. I don't want you to go into a world where you think somebody gonna keep on handing you stuff. Because if I keep on handing you that, that's what you gonna want. That's what you gonna think everybody gonna do. Everybody gonna give you that silver spoon and say, here, baby, you ain't gotta worry about nothing.
My mama is like a bird. There you go. That's what I was thinking of.
Push it.
So you know how they push you, and you just go out there, they just let them fall until they almost on the ground, and they swoop them up real quick. That's what she do. It's just when you're hard headed, and we are headstrong. So we want to do what we want to do. She gonna tell you, nah, that ain't smart. I don't know what you think you're gonna do. Then when you do it, my mama gonna laugh at you. But she'll sit there and talk to you out there like, so this is what we need to do next time.
So as a parent, though, your job is to love, hug, kiss, and love as some people say, the hell out of your kids. And that's what you've done. But in defining and discovering your realms of love, you have to do it in Lonetta's way. And what you've done is each individual kid has an amazing relationship with you, which I would love to do a session with the fam. Everybody here.
Lord, you don't want to do that.
The fam here. If they decide or you decide, let me know. But as I look back at this, I'm like, I get that you enjoy the person that you are and all your strengths, because I love them too. You know, I know who you are. I watch you grow up into the amazing person that you are. But there's also a version of you that you don't know, which the viewers may be asking or seeing. They may be like, what if Lonetta did collar you and just love you and hugged on you, even when you pushed away and you went away and she just kept coming back and overly like loving you to the point that you say, get off me. You know, because right now, I hug Jackson and kiss him all the time. I know there's going to become a point where he's like, Dad, no, like, with you growing, no kissing, no hugging. I'm like, but still, son, you my son. You know, but even with you, there is a shell and a hard version of you, but also there is a version of you that could have been totally different. In my mind, there is a version of you that she could have shared all of her stuff at a younger age and not took on the mentality that she took on with Quita. And went ahead and said, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'm still going to be here, I'm going to do this same technique. Because you have parents out there, they do the same technique with every kid. And if it didn't work with one, it'll work with the next one, instead of altering or changing parenting. But I do understand that every kid is different and they require different learning, but it's just matching it up. So the person that you become isn't a bad thing, and the parent that she is not a bad parent. It's just when she gave you that information, just like me driving on the road, you decide to take your detour, and while taking your detour, certain things happen. The friends you hung out with, the scenarios you was in, the party you went to, and I'm not saying it's all your fault, but I'm just saying it puts you in an environment to where you have to stop. You may turn around and go back. You may make a phone call. You may call your cousins, and then grandma and everybody come out, they're packing, ready to handle business. But it's just life's choices and the heartache and the pain and the shame and everything that we go through, whether it's a family member. Because some people think it's the outside that hurts you the most.
Your family that hurts you the most.
Hurt you the most.
And faster.
Yeah.
But my mom was both. Like, don't get me wrong, she's not gonna push you to open up to your pain, because she knows how it feels to be pushed to open up. It makes you shut down. It makes you be like, no, I can't, because sometimes you don't know what to say. You don't know how to deal.
Yeah.
You have to give a person that time, but she still to this day will come in my room and just lay on me like, ma'am, missus, I don't like people. What you want? But she's always like that. It's that lovey-dovey that she has, and she's gonna give it to you.
Did you pay attention to how I greeted her when she got in the car?
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Good morning, beautiful." That's what I say to her every morning.
You do.
And even if you want to, there have been times that I wanted to be the stern parent, but at some point you gotta let go. You can't be with them for the rest of their life. At some point, you ain't gonna be here no more. And they're gonna have to learn it on their own. And I'd rather be here to support you while you learn it than to have you learn it and it's no support there. It's just like being, what is it, the ones that fly, you know, in the circus, and they have no net underneath. If I don't catch you, you gonna hit the ground and you gonna be dead. But if I'm there to support you, you know, just like it's a net underneath you, if I'm there to support you, I would rather be there to support you and let you know that it's gonna be okay and that I got your back and that whatever it is that you're going through isn't as hard as it would have been if I had not given you that chance to do it.
And I'm actually glad you brought this example up. Her flying, you wanted to catch her so that she would survive and live instead of dying.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a point in time where Alex have thought about committing suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Are you shocked about that?
No.
How come?
Because I have too.
Okay. Did you know your mom thought about killing herself?
That's one of the things where we have actually sat and just spilled. And it's only because, I mean, around that time, I had been forced into therapy. So I was going to therapy constantly.
Or school?
Nah, not school, but more so her. And then I have severe anxiety. So because of me having that and having PTSD, it's like I had to. It was too much. I was having anxiety attacks nonstop sometimes. So me going and stuff like that, it was like, okay, this is your exercise, and if you want to move on, you got to do everything in exercise. So it was just like me actually going to her and letting her know, like, bro, I don't want to be here. Like, I want to be here, but I can't do it no more. Like, I quit. I'm over it. The game's over. I'm done.
He'll be here on this earth.
On the planet, like I was done. I didn't want to be here. It was too much going on for me. I couldn't deal.
And how'd that make you feel?
How did that make me feel? It was a point that I said, Alex, so you don't want to be on this planet anymore. So you won't leave me.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna leave me here to deal with all of that. And she's like, no, it's not that I want to leave you to deal. But Mom, I'm like, Alex, if you do that, what happens to me?
And she know I'm soft for her. Like, anybody will tell you, if you want to get me out of character, mess with her. Play with her feelings, talk to her crazy. Yeah, you're going to see a side of me you don't want to see.
And the crazy thing is, all my daughters are like that.
Protective of you.
And Elijah's very protective of me.
So, did you reveal your thoughts of suicide when she told you hers? Or had you already opened up before then? Or did you could you feel it and see it before she even said anything?
She had mentioned something like that before, because like I said, I was sleeping in the same room as her. Like, so, and I think I get this from her. We have the habit of, you'll turn over and you'll be silently crying, trying to be as quiet as humanly possible so no one knows. She was doing that one night and she was just like, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I just feel like I can't do it no more. And for me, I'm just like, I know the feeling, but I can't let her do that. But it's like, how can I tell myself, like, oh, I can't let her do that, and I'm feeling the same way.
So, what would life be like without your mom? Has she committed suicide?
I'm getting in the casket. I told her, I'm gonna tell you, we going together. Ain't no life without her. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be the stereotype of my mama can't leave me, but I'm everyone else's glue, but she's my glue. Like, I listen, I can deal with a lot and they drive me a little nuts, but I need a little therapy too, so I'm gonna need you to come in my room real quick, cause kids got me going nuts. I don't know what to tell who. So
if she killed herself, you would kill yourself?
no, you're gonna bury me alive right next to my mom and hold her body till I just stop breathing.
So what would it be like if you
I can't.
if you came in the room and found your daughter, or you found out that she died by killing herself?
I bring her back to life and choke her. Pretty much that's how I feel. That you left and no concern of me at all. You left me to deal with them other 6 siblings of yours by myself. I said the same thing when my husband died. You left me here to deal with them 7 by myself, and you already know. And that was like maybe the second time that I had actually plotted out what I would do. How I was gonna kill myself was after he died. The first time was after my mother died.
So you can only imagine what happened.
But then
Alex died.
I was pregnant with Marquita, so it was kind of like I found out I was pregnant. I'm like, well, can't quite do that.
Yeah.
And it's always been my kids that have been the reason why I didn't go through.
And it's wild because y'all are why I didn't kill myself. I just always felt like if I'm gone, everything gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Everything, everybody, it's just not gonna go right. I'm gonna be asking God to take me back, and I don't know. You gotta think of it more so as there's always something to live for. It's always something. I don't care how big, how small. It's always something.
You have to look for the good.
Yeah, and you gotta hold on to it for dear life, because everybody gonna try to snatch it from you, okay?
Yeah, I can understand that. So the last thing that we were talking about was the plot on suicide, along with why you chose not to tell her traumatic things that have happened, which you kind of picked on that earlier in the conversation. This has been a very, very deep family session. And one thing that kept coming across the table, or in my message box, is this family is very strong and brave to lay their family secrets out there. Because as you know, what happens in the family stays in the family. But I truly believe that a family that reveals together also heals together. And I think that's what we actually were able to see today. And I know that your sons and your daughters, they still have to watch this, or they may watch this, and they're gonna learn. I know the talks are not gonna stop here. You may have to have a sit down and call your family around, and you guys all talk about it. Because from what I'm hearing is this: in discovering love with Alex, she went through a lot, and she put it on her shoulders, and she carried it from a little girl all the way up until now. And you went through with the boundaries of love, setting it, because you're the one that started the family. In the car, Alex said, a lot of this stuff is your fault because you had 7 kids total.
You are the reason for my headache.
You're the reason for my, headache, because all of these siblings. But the truth is this is your tree limb of the tree, like your branches and your leaves. And it's up to you to define and help them become who they're going to become. And even in the car, we talked about how you just have to be satisfied with whoever your kid becomes, because you have expectations of their life, but they're going to develop and grow into who they want to become. And all you can do at some point is step back and watch them. And today we've just been defining love. We're able to see Alex, the little girl, grow up to be 21, and we can only imagine what Alex is going to be like when she becomes Lonetta, because it's going to happen. You guys are like mirror images of each other, and the things that she's teaching you, you're taking them, you're making slight alterations to them, and you're gonna end up teaching your kids whenever you have some.
That's how I've always learned, though. Even watching my siblings, like seeing other people's mistakes lets you know, oh, don't do that. Like you see somebody else put their hand in the fire, you're gonna be like, yeah, bro, you gonna play with that.
But that's what it is, though, right? So that's where I'm saying, like, if Lonetta would explain the fire.
I wouldn't touch the fire. But
you
also,
would think.
you can't. Well, okay, in the situations that we're speaking on, there's no way she could have stopped it. Because regardless of whatever she told me, she could have told me, you grounded, stay in the crib. I probably would have still went out to the party, and life would have took its, whatever God already has planned to happen is going to happen. It may not happen how it's supposed to because you done tried to leap over something, but it's going to catch up. It's going to happen because it's meant to be there to step up. All your trauma are your stairs.
But some
It
people,
makes you stronger.
Just don't fall.
Those things make you stronger.
but some people say that it isn't God allowing it to happen. It's your choices that allowed you to be in that scenario.
But
No,
Some people will blame it. Some people would even blame it on the devil, saying it was the devil's work.
But
Or
who gives you that choice? God gives you a choice every day of what you're gonna do. Just like you have a choice of what clothes you're gonna put on. If it's cold outside and you decide to go outside with some shorts and a t-shirt on, that was your choice. Not the fact that it's cold outside and I need to put on some pants, some boots.
It don't matter if
It's a
somebody gave you
choice.
a big book. I'm talking about a big God. The Bible alone is supposed to be a guide. But I myself have read, and I'm not finna sit here and follow everything in there because I don't agree with everything in there. But I know right from wrong. It's whatever I choose to do that's gonna lead me where I gotta be at. And sometimes you don't know. You gotta leap at a risk and be like, God, please. So, I mean, anybody who feels like it's okay to be like, oh, I'm only like this because of yada, 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 you're a victim and you want to be a victim. If you realize want to grow from what you're going through, you want to see better days, you want to not be that same person, you're going to look at yourself and be like, I don't want it no more. And you're going to do what you have to do to let go, to grow. It's not easy. You're going to cry a lot. You're going to be like, I don't even understand why, stuff like that. But if you really want it and you really trust God to let you, eventually you're going to be like, I'm good. You're going to be sitting up here like me, big boss, straight. I ain't worried about nothing no more.
Okay, and in closing, I want to thank both of you guys for coming here today and opening up. I consider us family. Lonetta, thank you for allowing me to come into your family and be her play dad, per se, mentor for this as many years as I've been there. And the fact that I even call you guys and ask you guys to come on the show, and both of you guys just like, yeah, I'm here. No questions about it. Whatever you need, I'll be there. From the little girl that won the writing contest, talking about how you shot somebody, knowing that mom signed a permission slip allowing me to use this.
You said, and I quote, what you write, only those people will read. When you said those words, I'm going to take your word for it. If you would have went back on your word, I would have never trusted you a day in my life ever again. But you kept your word.
And mom's signature being on this permission slip saying that it was okay to even talk to you guys and use your story, which is amazing. Knowing after I read your story that she didn't know your story. Because part of that was the shooting. Mm-hmm. And you just revealed that today. But defining love. Some people think that love is gushy and amazing and is this amazing feeling of butterflies and sunshine and Skittles and all of that stuff. But it is that. But also it's a lot more than that. It is the hurt, the pain. It is surviving the hardships. It's surviving family letdowns. It's surviving secrets. And it's revealing secrets. It's crying together. It's being held. It's hugging each other. It's loving people when you know they're wrong. It's loving a drug addict. It's loving your mom when she said you can't go spend the night over your cousin's house, but you don't know the reason. But she knows the pain and the hurt that comes with that. It is literally getting up every day not knowing if your kids are going to survive and praying all day long, praying through their day, praying for yourself. Love is getting beat by your husband. It is staying with the husband just a little while longer for whatever the kids may need. Love is being that kid that wants to run in there and jump on their dad for beating their mom and want to cuss their mom out, telling them, why won't you leave? Not understanding truly why mom is doing this or why the kid is doing this. Love is going out on adventures by yourself into the world and carrying it on your shoulders. by yourself when it's too heavy to carry. Love is cutting yourself to allow the blood and the pain to escape because you feel like you're about to explode on the inside. But love is also sitting down and accepting who that person is and the mistakes and learning through the mistakes and realizing that I'm not perfect. I don't have to be a superhero. And also realizing later that, hey, had I told you earlier, maybe you could be less of a superhero and be more normal. Because every world needs a Clark Kent and a Superman. But it's just, when do you become that? You know, everybody will always love the Superman version of you because you're saving lives. But it's hard to do that. This dude had to run into a telephone booth and change. He had things that he wanted to hide. He was normal. But he also was fighting things. And he wants to protect everybody. So with you guys, I really commend you for that. Because you're defining love. Because people think it's just so cut and dry, it's so black and white, and it's not. It's hard to be a mom and to know that your son may be a crackhead, or your son may be gay, or your daughter may be this, or your uncle may be a rapist. And that question that we asked earlier, it was like, what does a mother do when her son does something to the daughter? And it affects the mother, it affects the son, and it affects the daughter. And you said something that was very key that I like. You said, seek counseling first. You're taking it outside of yourself and you're seeking counseling. I don't know who the counselors are, but the fact that you're willing to step outside yourself and make a decision that's bigger than your family, to me is mind-blowing, and I love it. But to all of the viewers today, again, defining love isn't always so simple. You know, we went over things that matter in a family. Family matters. We talked about Lonetta's matters that she went through, and also we talked about Alex's. But also, I'm sorry, Lex. That's what she said in her first video. My name is not Lex, not Alex. But also, what we realized was that the family as a whole, it matters. And the decisions that you make along the way, and the mistakes that you make along the way, will alter, change the direction or trajectory of your family. And it's up to you. And you're defining your family as you go. And as Lonetta said, you're going to make mistakes. You need to grow through your mistakes. And you need to understand that it's okay. You don't always have to wear the cape. You don't always have to wear the helmet that shows that you are the one. You're the person in charge. You are the parent. But you also are the friend. And you also are the kid. Because to be honest with you, Alex was the kid that's going to turn into the adult. She's a young adult right now, but then she's going to turn into the parent. And Lonetta was once the kid that went to the adult that went to the parent. And she's still learning from her kids. So it's a never-ending cycle. And they're still defining their love. She's still shaping her grandkids through her daughter from the position that she's in. And it's always going to be a tough thing. But I know there's a lot of families out there that's dealing with things just like this family is doing. And we grow. But I truly believe, and I always stood by this because my mom would always say this. She said, a family that prays together stays together. But I also truly believe, today this came on my heart, a family that reveals together, they heal together. And we saw some healing that happened today. We saw some tears that happened. We saw emotions and expressions that happened. There was a burden that was lifted. Alex don't have to carry some things by herself no more. It's lighter. Lonetta don't have to carry some things no more. It's lighter. The family may watch this later and they're going to have other conversations and they're going to realize that, hey, it's okay. I love you regardless. Mom, there are no mistakes. And Alex made that clear today. You don't talk about her mama. I couldn't even, I was playing devil's advocate, and she looking at me, my mama did good. My mama still is good, and I love my mom. And I'm like,
this is
I
proof
get
that
it.
my
I
mom
understand.
is real life good. With everything I done been through, even when I was sick, constantly in the hospital, everything, I still made top 10 of high school and was barely in school senior year because I was sick. Not only that, but I'm finna graduate next semester from a HBCU. Stop playing with her.
Stop playing with her.
And I'm in school.
And you're in school.
Yeah.
And was it May? You walking across the stage? And who has to be there?
Me.
And me? But what I'm saying is this. I'm an outsider that came to Chicago and they allowed me to become a part of their family. As they're defining love, they actually included me in the definition of love and allowed me to blossom as they blossom. I'm so proud of the family that they become. I'm so proud and excited about where the family's gonna go. Lonetta and her 7 kids, all of them are amazing. Alex being the one that has that special at times. I know you think he's special all the times, but whoever the one is closest to Lonetta, spoiler, is the closest. So when you're off at school, there's somebody else. We're gonna talk about Walter right now because Walter is an amazing kid also. But I just want to let you guys know that as a family, we're all a family. There's some things as cultural, as blacks, as whites, as Hispanics, as whatever, that we all hold on to. And sweeping up under the rug, I think we should let go of. I think that we should start revealing and talking and start healing as a family. I think that we need to start getting counseling instead of coping. I think that is very important. Alex talked about her going to some counseling, and if anybody's going through this, I highly recommend. I received counseling, Alex has received counseling, and we're all gonna still continually need counseling as we grow and as we go and as we continue defining our love. But as the viewers out there, I know that this was to some people, this was triggering, the rapes and all the other stuff, but also to some people, this is eye-opening. As some families begin to heal with this family, I advise you to seek counseling. We love you. From our family to your family, we want to be there for you. So please like, share, and even comment on this video. Follow us face-to-face _WTW. Hey, I'm Tarrance.